I met and trained with many of the great masters because they all came together in a place called what was that place?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yinchuan in China, which is, it was a grueling 28-hour steam train journey across China through Mongolia. That's another story.
Good,
Back then, it was hell.
Good toilets on
Now
the train?
it's fantastic. You what?
Good toilets?
The toilets. Yeah. Yeah, well, just one little story was I went to I did go to the toilet on the train, and it's just like a hole in the floor. And there was literally, I'm talking in a literal sense, shit everywhere, and you had to sort of find on tippy toes and leap from one non-shit area to the other, and then finally land with your feet down on the by the hole in the floor. And one time, just sitting there, and you're looking at the tracks going underneath you. I saw this rolled up package next to me in newspaper, big long package, wrapped up with string. I thought, as you do, you're sitting there having a crap, looking at railway lines going underneath you. And I started poking this thing, and I thought, oh, what the hell is this? And I thought, oh yeah, I'll look. No one in there, of course. I tore the thing, and there was a dead body in there. And I'm going, someone had a heart attack and died. They just literally wrapped him up in newspaper and put him in the bloody toilet. Yeah, so that was that was quite an interesting experience. That was back in the days when China was, just beginning to emerge, if you like, and it was still very communistic. And we had our translator was turns out to be that was her first job, was a secret police person, and wherever you looked, you began to know who were the police and who weren't, and they were always with us. And many's the time, they'd come a hand on your shoulder when you're trying to take a picture of something. No, you're not allowed to take pictures here. So anyway, that was what I call real China.
Yep.
So very, very, very interesting times that was. And so anyway, yeah, so I went to, later on, I went back over to China to the Wudang place, study with eh? Who? Liangshi Khan. That was his name, Liangshi Khan. That's right. At Wudang. And that's when I discovered that the four things that I'd learned earlier were exactly what they were doing at Wudang. Well, mind you, people have this rose-colored glasses idea of walking up miles up a huge mountain and carrying water on your shoulders up this mountain, up 10,000 steps, and coming to the top, you see this beautiful monastery, and there's all these monks there in red robes, and they're all hitting little bells and everything, and that's where you come in and you study. What a load of crap. It was just a little house at the base of the mountain in a small village. I've forgotten the name of the village now, in fact. A couple of people have gone there since, and the school doesn't seem to be, the Liangshi Khan has died now, and the school doesn't seem to be anything like it used to be. But anyway, it's just a house, and it's just, everything in China seems to be dust and dirt. Well, it was back then when I was there. If you saw a patch of green grass, your eyes would go, what's that, after a while. So anyway, they were literally out the back practicing in mud. And that was normal clothes, just normal people. So that was a big eye opener for me, and so that's when I started learning my first Wudang stuff. That was a very interesting experience as well. So the Wudang stuff has come from Chang as well as from my experiences in China.
Okay, well that should satisfy all the desires for people to know that you had to crawl through mud to get this information and everything, because everyone seems to want you to have climbed that mountain. I get lots of emails from people, and they don't want it to be easy for you. Right, when you've got this information, they seem to want you to nearly lose an arm for it, and and we realised that you did actually do a lot of effort for it, but the mystical idea that you had to climb a massive mountain and there was spiritual monks and all that, I think it's more the David Carradine kung fu movies that everyone wants to see.
Yeah, yeah, that's, you know, that doesn't happen. And you know, I like to think of even, you know, people like Chang Sangfang way back when he invented all of this stuff. By the way, there, you know, I should really say this. Most people think that Taiji came from Wudang. It didn't come from Wudang. Wudang came from Wudang. Many hundreds of years later, Taiji was born from that stuff. But there's no such thing as Wudang Taiji. Taiji Chuan is a relatively new name. It was only coined at the end of the 19th century by Wu Zhenchuan, the son of Wu Guanyu, of the famous Wu family style of Taiji, because he thought that his boxing system, or the Yang's boxing system, from whence the Wu style came, was indeed the supreme ultimate boxing. So that's why he called it supreme ultimate boxing. Chang Sangfang simply invented a set of movements to hide what he was doing, so that the baddies, if you like, couldn't steal all of his hard-earned information. And so Wudang doesn't have or Bagua or Xingyi. It simply has Wudang. I've lost my train of thought now. You did ask something, but
it's all
okay.
right. I've lost it as well. I just want to finish up with one thing that's of great interest to me, because I've only just experienced it with a recent Australian camp. The chi development tools that you've got out now. We did the 12 chi development tools, and for me it seemed to be like a missing piece for me. And one thing I asked Eli was, when could we start teaching sort of beginners? And his reply was, when they can understand the movements. Rather than wait till they know their form and so on, that we can actually start teaching this at a much earlier stage. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Look, the chi development tools, I've only just started teaching it openly. I've only taught it to literally 2 or 3 people before my sons. But that area is, I like getting excited about Taiji. You know, I go to a class and I have to teach slow form. I'm not excited about that. But there are aspects of that even still that I get excited about when I see some old person, you know, having to do the snake creeps down, and they think, wow, that's fantastic, that's great. But yeah, the chi development tools are an exciting area, and it makes me excited and happy to be teaching it, because I'm literally getting such positive results from people nowadays. This is indeed the missing link. They're a set of movements that have come from the Yang Luchan's form, that basically, I like to call it, people over here don't know what I'm talking about, but you will, a Clayton's Tai Chi.
Yep.
Do you remember the drink?
The drink you have when
they
you're not
had
having
in Australia
a drink?
called Clayton's. It was like the drink you have when you. That's it, yeah. So the chi development tools are the tools you do when you're not doing Tai Chi. You get everything out of it that you do get out of Tai Chi at a very advanced small frame level. But because of that, it then goes back into your Taiji, and you can really understand your Taiji a whole lot better at an energy level, not just at a sophisticated level. It's at an energy level, because it teaches you the most important thing about Taiji, and this is the secret. If there is a secret, this is it. That is that the hands are in total sum. The hands, you must never feel your hands moving. Could you see if that's the... You must never feel your hands moving. And in order to do that, the hands must be so perfectly rounded and small to emulate what your internal energy is doing, that you don't feel your hands moving. And once you can get to that level, that's when your Taiji really starts to kick in. And the Qi development tools are those tools which will give you that ability. But yeah, if you're not ready for it, you'll just be doing a bunch of movements. But again, I'm teaching it because people must see me doing it. They must see it being done.
One thing I've noticed with people, since you've put out the information of watching the hands, that a lot of people are trying to force their hands. Like you see them actually concentrating on trying to get vibration in their hands or that, and you can, I don't know, it's because I've seen so much of you, it's like you can just pick it whether it's right or wrong at a glance. And that's what I love about seeing you, is you can just go, okay, I can pick that. I don't understand it.
Yeah, look,
but I can pick it as right. When you see it, you pick it as right, and when you see it as wrong, and it saddens me that people take that little pearl of information about the hands and then start concentrating. I've got to shake my hands like Earl does, and you see one hand shaking and the other one's rock solid, and I wish people would just let that sort of thing come to them. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, that's what we call just do it.
Yep.
Just do it. That's the catchword there, is literally just do it. Yeah, most people, even stark beginners will be looking at me doing something. What you said is exactly correct. They start doing the movements rather than letting them happen. So, people will see me doing maybe a move like this, and there'll be a slight, as you said, there'll be a slight little vibration at the end of my hand. But if you try and do that, you can't do it. You can't do the vibration, But so people who see my hands doing it, they think, oh, Earl does this, so I'm going to do this at the end of it, you see. So, yeah, people have literally just, and this is what comes from, but, that's okay. Years down the track, then they'll start to realize, and the seed that I planted for them in the beginning will then start to grow. But if you do Tai Chi, if you try to force it to before you're ready, in other words, it won't happen. And that's the only danger that I see, is that people try to do it like I do it before they're ready. And that's just human nature, I guess. But at least they're seeing me do it. So that's the reason that I do all this stuff at this level. That's my job, to go places and hold a workshop and show them what it's like from up here.